Okay, hello everyone. So, our group will discuss and explain the mind map of Doctor Faustus by Christoper Marlowe. So, before we start it, we will introduce ourselves first. My name is Annisa Maghfiroh, with last three digits of my student numbers are 103.
And my name is Zuhrotul Munawwaroh with my serial number 123231126.
And my name is Viola Auria Susanti, and my student number is 123221149.
So, before we continue with our discussion for the Dr. Faustus mind map, and I would like to um, summary the Dr. Faustus play by Christoper Marlowe. And in my understanding, Dr. Faustus tells the story of a brilliant German scholar named Faustus who feels dissatisfied with the limits of traditional knowledge such as logic, medicine, law, and religion, and he hopes to gain greater powers. Then he turns to magic and makes a pact with the devil. In exchange for his soul, Faustus receives 24 years of magical abilities and Mephistopheles, a demon, as his servant. And despite warnings from good angels and his own doubts, Faustus signs the contract. So he sold his soul to the demon, and with his new powers he travels, performs tricks, and enjoys worldly pleasures, but he rarely uses his magic for meaningful purpose. As the end of his time approaches, Faustus is filled with regret and fear of eternal damnation, and he considers repenting but ultimately cannot escape his fate. So on his final night, Faustus begs for forgiveness, but it is too late. The devils come and carry his soul away. The next morning, his friends find his body destroyed, serving as a warning about the dangers of overreaching ambition and neglecting redemption. So it is a very tragic story about Faustus, and I've explained about the Dr. Faustus story a little. So we will continue to the mind map. The first one that I would like to explain is the philosophical and intellectual significance. So in this topic, the Dr. Faustus raised question about the nature and limits of human knowledge and power, contempting whether humans should pursue such pursuits without consequence, represent a reflection on the human condition struggling between spiritual salvation and worldly temptation, highlighting existential anxieties, sparks debate on free will versus predestination, examining whether Faustus' fate is determined by divine justice or his own choices, thus engaging with theological and philosophical discourse. So, the play raises important question about the limit of human knowledge and power. It shows how people get tempted by things they shouldn't or can have, and what happens when they ignore the consequences. It warns that trying to control or understand everything can be dangerous. Also, it talks about topics like religion and science during Marlowe's time, which is Renaissance, showing the struggle between faith and knowledge. Faustus' choices highlights human desires and the risk of going beyond normal limits. And the second one will be explained, my friend.
Okay, uh, I will continue the second point artistic and dramatic innovations in Dr. Faustus. The pioneered the use of blank verse, which allowed for more natural speech rhythms and expressive depth influencing English drama. The blank verse means the unrhythmed. The blank verse is the unrhythmed which is in literature scope, you can say is unrhymed iambic pentameter. If you know the iambic pentameter, it includes the 10 syllables per line that alternating unstressed and stressed. This metrical structure gives the speech a rhythmic backbone, but without the compulsion to find a rhyme at the end of every two lines. And this differentiates with the previous rhyme. This is the new one. And then the second is the features complex character development, which portraying Faustus as a multidimensional figure torn between aspiration and despair. If you know that the Doctor Faustus here, his characteristic is kind of greedy to be rich and gain wealthness. Uh, he was sold his soul to the devil, and then it uh, that kind of behavior can conclude that he is desperate to be happy and living his happy life. And then the third is integrates supernatural elements seamlessly into the human drama, creating a vibrant and morally complex narrative that elevates theatrical storytelling. These plays try to elaborate uh, about the complex thought about the Faustus himself, that they are not trying to move on and try to find the job or trying to improving his life. He's just frustrated trying to get rich, and definitely he's sell his soul to the devil. That's makes the complex story. And by the devil one, you can tell that the devil, such for example, creatures like evil and angels, they are supernatural elements, right? And then the next is you can zoom to the below. And the next is enduring relevance, that remains a symbol of the tragic hero, an embodiment of human hubris and tragic flow, resonating with audiences across eras. And then continues to serve as a commentary on the pursuit of knowledge and its potentially destructive consequences, prompting reflection on modern scientific and technological ambitions. And the last inspires numerous adaptations and reinterpretation across various media, including film, opera, and literature, maintaining its significance in cultural discourse. By this point, I can giving you summary that uh, this can symbolize that the tragic hero, which is Doctor Faustus, giving a tragedy genre that in the end his life will be mess. His life is messy since his process to gain the wealth is not from the legal, by sell your soul to the devil you reach that achievement by the illegal illegal way. So that's why, thank you. That's from me. The next point will be explained by my member.
Okay, so I'll be explaining about literary influence on Dr. Faustus. So the first one is marked as significant development in Renaissance tragedy and elevating the genre with its complex character and profound themes. The second one is served as a profound influence on later playwrights, inspiring subsequent works in both Elizabethan and Jacobean drama with its innovative structure and dark themes. And the third one is introduce and popularize the archetype of the tragic hero, the flawed yet noble whose fatal flaw leads to downfall and shaping subsequent character in portrayal in Western literature. And so uh, Doctor Faustus was uh, created in Elizabethan era, and uh, what's really striking is how Marlowe completely changed the way people wrote and understood tragedy. And before him, most plays were full of flat symbolic characters like virtue, sin, or pride, but Marlowe created someone deeply human, and Faustus isn't just a sinner, he's someone ambitious, curious, and flawed, which makes him feel real and relatable. And this shift towards psychological complexity was revolutionary, and Faustus' internal conflict between his desire for power and his fear of damnation makes the play feel modern even today. And another major thing is Marlowe's use of blank verse. Instead, instead of using rhyme couplets like earlier plays, he wrote in unrhymed lambic pentameter, and which sounds more natural, and this made character emotion come alive. So it's one of the reasons Dr. Faustus feels so powerful and when spoken aloud. And the influence didn't stop there. The play had a huge impact on later writers, especially Shakespeare and his contemporaries. We can see traces of Faustus' characters in Hamlet, Macbeth, and Othello, and those same ideas of inner conflict, guilt, and ambition leading to tragedy. Uh, Next one will be explained by my friend Anissa.
Okay, thank you. I will continue to explain the thematic significance. Um, the thematic significance explores the boundless human ambition and pride, illustrating how the desire for knowledge and power can lead to destruction and moral downfall. Engaged with moral and ethical dilemmas, questioning the morality of falsehood, pact with the devil, and reflecting on human choices and accountability. Confront supernatural elements integrating demons, magic, and hellish visions, which symbolize the eternal struggle between good and evil within the human soul. Um, so in this story, explores big themes like the conflict between good and evil, the search for knowledge, and the price of ambition. Faustus tries to gain superhuman powers, but ends up doomed because of his pride and poor choices. And the theme of sin and punishment is strong, showing how Faustus faces the consequences of selling his soul. The play also looks at human nature, how people are curious and ambitious, but also vulnerable to making mistakes. It warns about the danger of overreaching and ignoring moral values. And my friend will continue.
Okay, so I'll be talking about cultural and historical impact. So the first one is reflect the spirits of Renaissance humanism by emphasizing individual desire for knowledge and mastery over nature, challenging medieval theological views. The second one is serve as a critique of religious orthodoxy, questioning authoritative religious doctrines, and highlighting the tension between faith, doubt, and individual morality. And the last one is influence subsequent literature and drama by establishing motifs of ambition, damnation, and redemption that recur in Western storytelling. So Faustus himself is like the symbol of that movement. He's intelligent, ambitious, and wants to go beyond the limits that religion and tradition set. He's not content with being human, he wants divine power, and that's exactly what made this story both fascinating and dangerous in Marlowe's time. And at the same time, the play also questioned that mindset. It showed the conflict between curiosity and morality, like between wanting more and facing the consequences. Marlowe was probably reflecting the anxiety of his age, like people were excited about discovery but scared of where it might lead. And another thing that culturally significant is how the play challenged religious authority. During that time, faith ruled almost every aspect of life, but Faustus questions God, makes a pact with the devil, and dares to explore forbidden knowledge, and that kind of idea like questioning divine order was very bold and controversial. And if we think about its lasting influence, Doctor Faustus inspired generation of works about ambition, damnation, and redemption, and that whole idea of the Faustian bargain, selling your soul for something you deeply desire, has become part of global culture and like it show up in music, movies, and even business or politics. And whenever someone sacrifices their morals for success, we call it a Faustian deal. Even today, the play is still feels relevant, and we might not sell our soul to the devil, but we do face similar choices when it comes to power, fame, or technology. And the question remains, and how far should we go to satisfy our ambition? And that is for my part. So, what do you guys think about uh, story of Doctor Faustus?
I'll try first. I want to explain about my own opinion regarding the Doctor Faustus, since it written in Renaissance era, and then it produced or published in Elizabethan era, and I personally kind of like the genre. This play genre is art, mm, tragedy, and gothic. I think kind of the supernatural elements one of the reason I will watch the drama, because since I really obsessed with kind of the devil, demon, and that kind of creatures, I will personally watch the drama or the play, and maybe I will add the literature scope. Mm, this genre totally maybe in that era. This is kind of the new types of the play, since it is combined between the Renaissance and the Elizabethan literature. Maybe if you are not into the literature and not into the tragedy and gothic genre, maybe you will not interest to watch the play. But I personally think in that way. That's from me. Maybe anyone from you guys want to share your opinion?
Yes, thank you, and I would like to share my opinion also. And it is very interesting how you explain it that it is a combine of Renaissance literature and Elizabethan literature. And this, in my opinion, this Dr. Faustus play is very interesting. How it has spiritual elements such as good and evil, demons, and magic powers such as, and it is a very tragic story for me because it is very relatable um, with people today, where people nowadays want to be success very quickly, and they want to have a powerful powerful superior um for other people and so on. And I think Christopher Marlowe want to highlight and want to warn us to balance our ambitions with wisdom and to not forget our values, because we can see in the final story that Faustus regret his decision to sell his soul to the demons. So yeah, it is a very interesting story, and it shows how human ambition and desires for knowledge can be dangerous for us, and we need to control our desire, and we need to see the consequences of our needs, and we must think about ourselves first, to be, even though we have a knowledge and we want to seek more knowledge, doesn't mean we need to um, sacrifice many things, especially our soul, like in the story. So yeah, it is a very interesting story, and I think it is still relevant in our eras right now. I think that's from me. Maybe Viola wants to add another opinion.
Okay, thank you both for your opinion on this Dr. Faustus story. For me, I think this story has many meanings, like we don't have to sell our soul for differ just for knowledge and money, but we as a human have to have desire to not reach beyond our limits, but we have to think about our the consequences and the moral cost of the action we do. And the story has teaching us cause and action uh, in in our action. And his downfall isn't just about punishment from God, and it's also the consequence of ignoring wisdom and conscience. So Faustus' action teaches us that knowledge without humility can be dangerous, right? And I think that's it for me. So is it you guys have nothing to say?
I think we're done for now.
Like, okay.
And
Thank you so much, Viola and Zuhrotul. And I would like to add a little bit, because we know that the Faustus characteristic is very greedy, and we must not be like him. And we need to um ahead for our action. And yeah, I think it is a really interesting way to for us to reflect in nowadays. So we could we could control our desire and ambition. And I think that's all from our discussion, and we will wrap our discussion already. So thank you so much, Viola and Zuratul, for
Yeah, thank
discussing
you.
with me, discussing together. Thank you so much.
And